But yeah, Muck-off and FXR and Club, we've shared the title sponsor of this race team for what, 4 years now. Um, love Muck-off, FXR. I mean, we just always had kind of a perfect marriage, and Muck-off is a growing company and a growing race team. It's just been so good. But yeah, I was actually down in Medellin, Colombia on a mountain bike trip and kind of had our deal sort of done. And we called about some YouTube stuff, and that's when they had notified me that they had to pull out due to the tariffs and the problems they're going to have sending product to America, and as a detriment to the race team overall. Look, they're still pushing forward with bringing product to America. They want to re-enter the sport later. Like, I'm still fully on board with Muck-off. We're still using the products. It's so good, but it was heartbreaking. Hard pill to swallow for sure. I pouted about it for a couple hours and then just said, you know what, now's the time to roll up my sleeves, dig in, and let's see what we can do. So since then, it has turned out to be a positive. We are going to grow. We are getting better. We're still moving on. Club has had that title sponsorship before. We've run this program on our own. We'll do it again if we have to. Fortunately, we've had some great partners step in, so we're not totally on the hook. But I think we've proved every year, like, we're going to find a way to be better, and we've always done that. And this was another test and learning lesson to who we want to be in the future. That if you want to be privately owned and privately operated, then there's going to be some challenges you're going to face trying to get there. And the dream of us is someday to obtain factory level support through a private operation and do things the club way and the way we feel is right or wrong. So this was a good test as a reality check to make sure that I'm in it for the long haul, and a good test to know that when times get tough, you can figure it out with a good group of people. And that's what happened. We all came together, dug in, and we figured it out. So challenge was accepted. It was difficult. For sure the hardest off season I've ever had. I mean, this has been the biggest struggle to get this race team, keeping it going. It's look, the race team has outgrown ClubMX in a financial capacity. It spends more money, it brings in more money. Club is kind of the baby, but the race team has grown so fast. So it got scary for a minute, but also made me reorganize and reevaluate everything, dial everything back in. And as a group, I think we've done that. So people will see that this season racing. Yeah, that one was a lot more complicated than Muck-off. Muck-off was black and white, right? Like, they're out. Um, yeah, FXR, just like Muck-off, they got us to this point as well. We definitely wouldn't be here without FXR. But long story short, I think back in May, we had a renewal agreement in place verbally, and everything I could ever ask for. They've supported us at a high level. They're co-title sponsor of this program. They share it with Muck-off and Club, and we've had a good trio going. And then a couple months later, we found out that they're cutting our deal in half. That was after we went on and hired staffing and put more money into different areas. So that was a bit of a bummer, but we tried to work through it. And yeah, I think spent like 4 months just trying like heck. And then Muck-off happened. So then it's like, well, man, we just lost our key player. And then our other key player, we get cut in half. Like, how are we going to figure this out? So it left us honestly with no options but to go see what was out there. But keep in mind, now we're already into like October, November. Like, deals are done, budgets are gone. It was a very shit situation to be in, out of loyalty and my personal interest in FXR. I really wanted to make it work, and I did try really hard. Um, but look, at the end of the day, like, we have to go racing. So along the process, Fly was one we reached out to because we've had a relationship with Firepower. And it was interesting because once I learned more about Fly and the group of guys, and I think what they're trying to create as a brand and the Fly family, it identified with really the same thing we're trying to create here at Club. So it immediately caught my attention, and I had to dig into it more. Personally, I was torn, and I still must say I'm wearing a Fly sweatshirt, and it's it still feels odd because I just never would have thought, my race team it's FXR, ClubMX. Like we go hand in hand, right? Everybody that knows the race team thinks FXR, and most people that think FXR think ClubMX. Like I feel like they brought us to prom, and I don't know. I feel like that was the hot date, and we got to prom, and now they're dancing with other chicks. And I think that's kind of what happened. They're now invested in factory team and other riders, and we suffered the consequences. But in the long game, I feel like, again, the challenge presented an opportunity, and Fly is the opportunity. I think we really connect well with one another's best interests, and I want to help grow that brand. I want to help identify with them. I want to help in every way, shape, or form, just like we tried with FXR. And I think they're going to give that back to us. So they see the vision, they see what we're trying to do. I think they can see we're coming. And they look, all I can do now is do the best job possible for Fly and make FXR kick themselves in the butt for letting this program go. And that's all I can do at this point. I am grateful for Milt specifically. It is what it is. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you want to put out a press release on something like that? Like, I didn't think that was fair to Muck-off. Just like now, I don't think it's fair to FXR to just put out a press release or just maybe let the questions go unanswered about, oh, why would they switch to Fly? Why would they, everybody's sending us messages after they've seen our launch video, like, why would you switch? And it's like, I'd love to answer that. And here we are. And I just think that comes from, I don't know, just a passion for the sport, I guess. Like, I want the fans to know who we are and what we do and why we do this. My story doesn't necessarily always get told. I don't have social media and all that stuff. I'm pretty private in that regards. Like, it's hard to even sit here and talk about FXR in this capacity, because I am really grateful for everything that Milt did for this program. But I think posting that video was like, look, I want to make it clear that there is no hard feelings about Muck-off. This was a political thing, and I believe that. I don't think they were being dishonest to me, and we've had a great relationship. So it just felt like the right way to do it for everybody to hear it straight from me, and not hear it through anybody else. So I think that kind of goes hand in hand with FXR. Like, I would like people to hear it from me and not a PR or a judgment, so to speak. And there's just a lot that goes into running this race team at a high level, and it gets to be political, it gets to be complicated, and sometimes you got to make decisions you don't want to make.